Okay, I'm going to do one now to clarify some things. In a word, I want to explain that I am not a revelator, so to speak. And I use that term like John the Revelator from Revelations. So John the Revelator from John Revelations had this experience that he wrote about, right? He took a trip to the other world, so to speak. And I have not done that, and I'm not pretending to have done that. So I have not had an NDE, and I have not had these experiences, but I am observing people who claim to have had them, such as Howard Storm, and there's just a whole list. And you can observe what they claim, and you can observe their behavior. Specifically in Howard Storm's case, he went from being an atheist with a disdain for religion, and then suddenly Jesus saves him in the afterlife after he takes a trip to hell. He takes a trip to this hell region, which is exactly described in Francesco, which is a completely separate book from a separate time. And this is what I'm saying, is that these near-death experience revelators, the people who come back and say, I saw this and I saw that, they can be observed. And so that's what I mean when I say that I'm speaking in a rational, scientific manner, because science is talking about things you can observe, right? To speak scientifically is to speak about something that is observable and to make some connections. So when I say Neo-Swedenborgians do not believe in God, because Neo-Swedenborgians can prove God to exist. What is that I just found? What is it? Looks like one of those one-eyed things from that cartoon. It has something in it. I hope it's not like bug spray or rat poison. But anyway, oh look, another corgi. This is the second corgi I've seen today. Hello. And so, okay, yeah, to speak scientifically is to talk about things that are observable. And I can say, you can observe this just as well as I can. And I make these connections. So Howard Storm is, you can observe what happened. He went from being an atheist with disdain for religion to going to Bible college and becoming a preacher, right? I'm saying that you can observe this in other people. So people have this experience with something they claim to be a greater reality. Okay, here's my whole point, is that we can now quantify the greater reality, because in 10% of cardiac arrest patients that occur in the hospital in an observable scientific setting, 10% of them come back with this "I saw a greater reality" talk. You know, like they had this vision and they know it, and they know it to be real. They know it to be more real than this. So what we have in our world today is people reporting something that is more real, okay? And what I'm adding to this is that they are doing it at a quantifiable rate. And if it's observable and if it's quantifiable, then it exists. And so what we have is this kind of funny wordplay to prove the existence of a greater reality, right? I'm proving there is a greater reality. And here's the catch is, quote, this is what other people say, well, that's only a subjective experience. Exactly. Okay, it is only a subjective experience. But if you cut that sentence in half, the first half is it is. Okay, the greater reality is. It exists. It can be proven to exist, but only as a subjective experience, right? Now let's just go back a minute and say, what do you mean by subjective experience, right? So if you go out in the cold today and you think, wow, it's kind of cold, that cold is a subjective experience, right? So to say something is only a subjective experience is not to say that it doesn't exist. It is to say it exists as something you can feel and nothing else. See what I'm saying? And so to dismiss something as, well, that is only a subjective experience. I don't know why people use the word only. Why do they qualify it as only, as if it's something small, right? That's like saying it's only in your head. Let's take the example of a firecracker. Let's say I have a lit firecracker. I lit a firecracker. Where is it? It's outside in the backyard. Oh, that's funny. I lit a firecracker. Where is it? It's in the bathroom. Oh, what'd you do that for? How about I lit a firecracker? It's in my hand. Well, drop it. How about I lit a firecracker and it's in your head? It's only in your head. So that's how I respond to people when they say, well, it's only in your head. Well, that doesn't make it go away, right? All that does is place it in space and time, right? If you're gonna say it's only in your head, this subjective experience is only in your head. Okay, great. Well, it hasn't gone away. So anyway, that's the bad news of Neo-Swedenborgianism. I jumped right to it. But the good news of Neo-Swedenborgianism is it connects. These NDE stories completely connect with these spiritualist writings beginning in the 1800s and going really up until today. But the ones I reference are, I've listed them before. And so this world has already been explored at length in writing that you can read it as fiction. Like, I don't care if you read it as fiction. If you want to say Francesco is just a really descriptive fiction, well, I don't care. I'm not attached to what I'm saying. What I'm saying is what it means to be Neo-Swedenborgian is you believe all that. You believe what J. Hewitt Mackenzie's saying, and Francesco, and etc., etc. And this all takes place in the Van Allen belts. So when you stop living here, you start living there. All that dies is your outer garment. Thanks. See ya.